Oh, no, wait. How does Damien do it? No, he doesn't do that anymore. I'm the only one who... All right, let's start again.
I like the hey-o.
Hey-o! Live from the
From.
bottom of a well covered by a Business Insider special feature about people in the bottom of wells. It's a Business Pants Monday!
Bottom of wells. How did you find them?
There was
You
a
sent your
time-
children down there.
There was a time actually when there were like stories about a kid who fell in a well. That was like the big story. Joined as always by, it was almost no one. It's just Ari. Ari, the Data Queen, is joining me. I was going to be by myself for a second. I am vegan fudge. Emma and Damien are out with ennui today. So this is it. This is what you get. You get the two of us. In today's demure bag of sabermetric shaped nuggets called August 1st, 2022, it's a
Holy
weekend
cow.
catch-up with laced with free float fun facts. Say that 5 times fast.
Free flow
And-
fun facts.
Yeah, please do it. Keep going.
Free
Keep
flow
going.
fun facts. Free flow fun facts.
Wow. I've never heard you sound more like a New Yorker than just now. Full fun facts. And we're going to end with a nerd alert. Are you ready for this?
Yep. Hit
All right.
me.
Let's do this thing. First, the headlines over the weekend. Here are your hot hits out of CNBC. Are you worried about landing that first job out of college? Here's a look at the most employable degrees. So what do you think the most employable degrees are, first of all?
Nurses. There's a huge void, right?
God, that
Nurses?
would make so
STEM?
much more sense than what it is. The
It's not
degrees-
nurses and teachers.
No, the degrees, in fact, are math followed by chemistry.
All
And
right.
here's your free float fun fact. If you're thinking about being a board member for a U.S. company, feel free to ignore math and chemistry. Using
Are there-
free float's patented data. Are there what?
Are there not a lot of chemists on board? That we
I
found?
actually ran every board member in the U.S. through our board sabermetric Textron 9004 patented machine. And I used MSCI data. Shout out to MSCI. We scanned every bio for U.S. directors in the last 10 years to find out that only 1% of them had a math degree
Wow.
and 1% had a chemistry degree. Don't worry, though. We're in good hands since you'll be shocked. But 32% had a degree in making money. Econ, finance, MBAs.
MBAs. Oh, they give those out like hot pies.
Yeah. They do. I actually think you just have to call someone and you get one now. They all have that. So there you go. You are an engineer by trade, and that apparently
am.
was a waste if you ever wanted to be a board member. You wasted your life. How do you feel?
Well, not because I'm a woman. You know, they require that of me. I should probably
Well,
go get
you
a
were-
PhD if I want to end up on a board.
Wait, yeah, are you saying you already were a waste because you're behind the 8 ball, or what?
You know, they do say that if you don't make it to the C-suite in 10 years, you're done.
Are you gunning
So,
for my job? Because I'm the only
uplifting.
C-suiter at this point, if that's what this is.
Well, you got that corner office.
I do.
I am in the corner of
It
your
is in the
corner,
corner of my house. Speaking of skills, here's another one. Chevron delivers robust results and boosts the pace of its share buybacks. How do we feel about that? Feel good.
Is this because gas is so expensive?
Yeah, every dollar that you're spending at the pump is apparently going back to investors of Chevron. And some of those investors, you might know, are free float fun fact. Our board sabermetrics pegged Ron Sugar, who's boardsman extraordinaire on the board of Chevron, as the most influential person on the Chevron board.
Sugar.
Ron Sugar. First of all, credit where credit's due. Best name of any
Great
board.
name.
Great, really good name. But this is the same Ron Sugar who actually participated in a KPMG survey last year of lead directors, very important lead directors, for insights on what makes a board resilient. And in that survey, it found they have quotes from people. So I don't know if this is Ron's quote, but Ron signed on to do this project. I'm going to say it might be Ron adjacent.
Uh-huh.
Quote, I think board diversity and keeping it fresh is key. Management diversity as well. Avoid getting into a rut. Keep challenging yourself. You need different perspectives, not just from different industries and not just from your competitors.
Keeping it fresh. I feel like that's something Chevron doesn't really do.
Well, okay. So, Ronnie, here's a little bit of different perspective about the Chevron board. Our data shows that you are connected to 8 of the Chevron board members within 3 phone calls. What that means is you know a guy who knows a guy who knows your board. You're basically...
If he got together with his buddies, it would be like the Chevron board's friends.
Yeah, it's
like... And now they're all in one big room.
It's like you and I go out to, we meet at an event, a golf event, because that's what you do. I'm wearing a little golfing hat with the pom-pom at the top. And I say to you, oh, hey, how's the board of such and such? And you say, oh, my buddy, Greg, actually is on the board with you, so I hear all about it, right? Like, we're close, right?
He can get back to 8 people? He can do that
8 different times.
with 8 different people. Out of how many? How many people are on this board?
There are 11 people on the board.
My God.
So almost the entire board he can do this with. And to make it a little bit worse, it's not just him. In fact, 73% of the board can get back to at least 6 other board members the same exact way.
So what you're saying is somebody threw a rager once. All these people came. They're like, you know what? You get a seat, you get a seat, and you get a seat.
Yeah, they were
That's what
handing
happened.
out, just like that. You get one for you. It's like a Oprah underneath your seat. You get a free car. And one of the board members is actually a guy named John Frank. He's the one who has no connections.
Okay.
But it turns out all you have to do is Google his name and look at him. He actually worked at Munger, Tullis, and Olson. And if that name is familiar, that's because it's Charlie Darth Munger. And Charlie's it was his law firm. Charlie, who's on Berkshire's board, Berkshire now owns 8% of Chevron. So it's not exactly like these are people who don't know each other in some capacity. So Ronnie Sugar, free float fun fact, keeping it fresh. That's Ron Sugar keeps it fresh.
Sounds like it.
He's like a board douche. Can I say that? That seems wrong.
I think you can. I'll allow it.
I feel like in the 90s that was a commercial, right? Like Keep It Fresh or something. It was really terrible commercial.
With the fresh strips?
Yeah, I don't know.
Rip, slip, brush up. Remember the brush ups? That's what it is.
No, but I want you to actually, that's going to be our new theme song. Speaking of shady and fresh, here's the next story. Starbucks union asks coffee giant to extend pay hikes benefits to unionized stores. So in case you don't know what's going on here, okay? Howard Holocaust Blanket Schultz refused to pass his Holocaust blanket to unionized stores. He gave pay hikes and new benefits to non-unionized stores and said, I'm sorry, I can't give them to you. I can't give them to you because that stupid union. Like, we have to collectively bargain now. Sorry, you screwed yourselves. But the union is actually saying, you can. If we just agree, we don't have to go collectively bargain for pay hikes, right? Like, you just ask us, and we say, that's cool, and then the job is done. But here is your free float fun fact. Howard Schultz is actually technically volunteering his time as interim CEO. He receives a $1 compensation, no bonuses, no equity, no nothing. According to his 8K filing, he took the job. That was the agreement, that he'd get nothing, which means the fun fact is he has zero incentive to deal with unions. I mean, if you made nothing out of this, like, why would you buy if you had ideological opposition to a union? Why on earth would you spend time negotiating? There's nothing in it for you. You just hate them. You could just hate them because you get nothing from this.
I mean, he's just screwing them for fun. That's what it is. It's not he doesn't want to
but
deal with it. He wants to screw them.
You can, because what's going to happen? Investors are going to be like, fire that guy? He's like, I made $1. Like, what do I care? Like, I'm a billionaire. I don't care about any of this. I'm doing you a favor. That's what he gets to say. I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah, but he's just making, like, he's just making Starbucks look bad at this point. This is the dumbest thing.
What it is really is a terrible idea. And speaking of terrible ideas, this story is going to make you upset, but I'm going to do it anyway, which is, and you also simultaneously won't care. Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson suspended for 6 games, sources say. Now, do you know about the story of Deshaun Watson?
Is this the one with the car crash?
No. Deshaun Watson is a quarterback, was a quarterback, now a Browns quarterback, was at Houston. He's the one who is alleged to have sexually assaulted over 24 women, asking for massages and like happy endings and all this kind of gross stuff.
What a creep.
He hasn't played for like a year and a half because of it. He sat out, and now he got a big contract with the Cleveland Browns, and his punishment from the league is set up to be 6 games.
Wow. They can't
Tom Brady,
just
for reference, Tom Brady got 4 games for violating the ideal gas law. Basically, they found that like deflated balls and blamed it on him when it was physics. And that means assaulting women is only worth 2 more games than that. But here, because this doesn't make any sense in the business world, except that it was in CNBC, here is the free float fun fact. Knowing who makes decisions is important. And the decision maker here was a retired judge named Sue Robinson. Here is one of the decisions that she made when she was an acting judge in Delaware. There was a case in which a group of prisoners in an overcrowded state prison alleged cruel and unusual punishment because they were sleeping on floor mattresses and they were regularly being splashed with urine and feces from toilets in cells that were overflowing, and the prison did nothing about it. Sue Robinson ruled the conditions were not in violation of their constitutional rights since they were receiving adequate food, shelter, and clothing.
Shelter? This does not sound like adequate shelter.
That's apparently they did not mean shelter from fecal matter. That's not in the Constitution.
So this lady is saying that if this guy sits out for 6 games, that's it. You're all good.
Done. He's good.
You've paid
now
your
he's
dues.
still got like civil like lawsuits on his hands.
But for his professional career.
His career, good to go. 6 months. 6 games. That's it. Good to go. 6 games.
Jesus.
Speaking of fecal matter, here's the last weekend catch-up story. More than 80 CFOs push back on sustainability reporting as the IFRS, or IFRS Sustainability Disclosure Comment period ended on Friday. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, IFRS it's like GAAP here. It's an accounting standard. They use it more in Europe than some in Asia. And it basically came out with a disclosure around sustainability proposal, and they left it open for comment.
Okay.
Great. The CFOs are pushing back. Their primary complaint, overall complaint, is, I'm not joking, is that it's hard. It's complex. That was their complaint. It's too complex. Specifically, they've asked for, can we use an existing standard? Can you tell us what enterprise value is? Because they use enterprise value. I guess they didn't read to the appendix because they actually wrote in the appendix the definition of enterprise value. Didn't get to that part, though. Can you tell us what to tell our sustainability reporting person to actually write? Like, tell us what to write. Like words, because I don't know what to write. Can you make the disclosure linked to science? That one was an interesting one. Can we do this in some way that we're already doing it, or do we have to do something new? And can you tell us which of these things matter for our businesses? Now, I'm going to play you in a free float first a clip from our April 6th show where we actually covered this. Are you ready to hear
Yeah.
me covering me in the most meta way possible? All
Hit it.
Here we go. There are 4,500 words in the IFRS report, and fully 111 of them are the word sustainability.
Yeah.
113 are related, 84 are financial, 78 are risk, and 70 are opportunity. That's right. 10% of the words in the document are the phrase sustainability related financial risk and opportunity.
Wait, what?
1 in 10 words is part of that phrase.
Okay.
That is correct. But don't worry. If you do a close read, the one thing you'll notice that isn't anywhere in this massive 17-page document is the definition of the word sustainability. It's not in there anywhere. They don't define what it is. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They do. If you squint, you can see it. It says, quote, an entity is responsible for deciding what information, including metrics, is material to its general purpose financial reporting. Oh, it says sustainability is you figure it the fuck out. We have no idea. You just tell us. You tell us whatever it is what it is. It'll be fine. There it is.
So they can't do it.
They're complaining about a document that tells them no definitions of anything that they have to disclose. They're complaining that it's too complicated to disclose nothing that's defined.
They were basically told, you make it up. You do it. You tell me what matters to you. Write it down.
Yes, you're correct. And here's the free float fun fact, because there's got to be one. 13 of the 80 CFOs that signed this pushback work at companies that sell sustainability-related financial products.
Oh, no.
They actually sell products that define sustainability in the products, and they cannot figure out how to define it for what they have to disclose. The big winner here is the CFO of S&P Global, who makes ESG ratings that they call material, signed a document complaining about how complex it is to report on what is material for ESG. That is true.
No, this is mind-blowing to me because that person should see this as an opportunity to get to define it for everybody else. Maybe they do such a good job that they're like, hey, you are now the standard. Everyone's going to have to follow you.
I mean, I do think, though, that they're laying out the template here for whenever anybody suggests any sort of regulation of any kind, just say, wow, that's hard. That's too hard. Can't do it. And that's it for my weekend update. Now, are you ready I'm going to do something very dramatic here. You ready?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Let's end on a quick nerd alert. I just wanted to play that music. I had the button. I uploaded it today. It was funny to me.
You're amping it up. Let's go.
Yeah. I want you to feel really uncomfortable. All right. If you're ever wondering, and this is kind of horror actually, when will the establishment of white male-dominated board members just get out of the way and allow women and people of color to have their turn? When will it happen?
You have a year?
Will it happen now? Will it happen soon? Will it happen by 2050? The answer actually is later than you think, according to the study by Peter Backus, Maria Kubel, Matej Guide, Santiago Sanchez Page, and Enrique Lopez Manas. The title of the study is Gender, Competition, and Performance Evidence from Chess Players.
Ooh.
Now, stay with me for a second, okay?
Uh-huh.
The paper found a bunch of stuff about gender in chess matches, including that women are more error-prone and play worse against men than they are against women, and men against men, they're more equal. So they're finding a gender mismatch in chess games. But here's the finding that stuck out to me. This is a quote from the paper. These results suggest that men persist longer in games that they ultimately resign when playing against women. Even when controlling for performance, men persist longer in games that they ultimately lose. They refuse to quit.
They don't want to give it up.
They will not quit against women. They quit against bros, and they quit faster by, on average, something like 3 moves faster. They will just sit around longer and longer and longer. And here's your nutshot quotes from the paper. One possibility is that men know that women are more error prone when playing male opponents. As a result, the rational response of men would be to play longer against a female opponent, holding out for the woman to make a larger error than a male opponent would. Were this the case, however, we should expect that women, knowing that they make larger errors against men, resign more quickly against male opponents, for which we find weak evidence. An alternative explanation might be that men's increased willingness to compete stems from a psychological cost to men of losing to a woman. In the case of chess, anecdotal evidence suggests that such cost may be very real. There you have it.
Wow.
Men will do anything to avoid looking like they lost to a girl. They'll quit with the bros, but I cannot look like I lost to a girl. I can't have it.
You know, they should do a study where 2 people are just playing via computer and they don't know the gender of the other person. See what happens.
Yeah, they did this from tournament play. So it's face to face. So they knew the opponent. But here's our free float fun fact to end the show. Our data shows there are a whopping 88 men on large U.S. company boards. They're not founders. They're not family. They're not insiders of the company. These are external hires for on the board who have been on those boards for 20 or more years. Their average age is 71, with the oldest clocking in at 98 and the youngest at 53, who's been on the board for 23 years. He started when he was 30.
These are the ones that won't give it up.
Are the men who will not give up. If you want their names, reach out to us. Ari, do you have anything to add?
Oh my gosh. These are the ones that we should target and be like, resign, resign, resign.
I'm going to tell
whoever
you,
go
too,
that route.
when I scan these men, it's not exactly like it's a list of your, like most. These aren't the people you bring to a cocktail party and are like, that's my dude. There he is. There's my dude right there.
Ugh.
No, this is mostly a list of random inside-y lifer board members. For some reason, we can't get rid of them. My guess, my sneaking suspicion is they still somehow get 98% approval in voting from investors.
Come
Good
on,
job,
investors.
guys.
Stop voting for them.
Never quit. Never quit. Don't make room for the ladies. That's it for Business Pants. I'm Matt Moscardi. That was Ari, the Data Queen, just filling in with some lovely commentary. And that is our show for today. If you like this, the rest of everyone should be back tomorrow or Wednesday or whenever they come back. I'm out the end of the week, so this might be a weird truncated week, but we'll find out. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow.